Hi everyone, how are you all? Good. Let's do an exercise, an activity to build to improve your concentration. Okay, put your hands to like this, your index and thumbs like this. Now you touch your left hand's thumb with right hand's index finger. This and left hand's index finger with the right hand's thumb. Okay, now we will start rotating. Too fast. Concentrate on your fingers with the eyes. Thank you. Very good. A warm welcome to meeting number 100, of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. I'm Sunil Gupta, your Sergeant Arms for the meeting. As the Sergeant Arms, it's my duty, it's my responsibility that I would highlight some key points, some guidelines to maintain the decorum of the meeting. The meeting is scheduled for a duration of 2 hours, and I expect all of you to stay for the entire duration to get the maximum benefit out of it. Please keep your videos on and audios off. However, you can turn on your audio when you are called or you need to speak. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmasters International doesn't put any restriction on speaking on these topics, at the Gabbys Toastmasters, we always request all the speakers, role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. Our mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I hope you all will follow these guidelines and help me maintain the decorum of the meeting. Let me allow and call upon the presiding officer of the meeting, Toastmaster Smruti Sagarika Mohanty. She is an experienced B2B sales professional and a certified soft skills trainer with a decade of industry exposure. Currently pursuing a full-time master's from the US, she is a mindful introvert striving to become a profound public speaker. Grateful for the camaraderie of the Toastmaster fraternity, she actively serves as a club coach, club mentor, and as an area director. Currently learning and growing with her pathways, she also serves as the president of this club, the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. If I have to describe her in a word, it would be dynamic because she is always ready to accept challenges with positive spirit and she is eager to learn new things. So please put your hands together and welcome a very dynamic, the presiding officer of the meeting, Toastmaster Smruti Sagarika Mohanty. Over to you, Smruti.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sunil Gupta. Please put your hands together for our Sergeant Arms Toastmaster Sunil. And Toastmaster Sunil, thank you so much for that heartfelt warm welcome. Okay, welcome each one of you to another meeting of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. As a presiding officer, I now call the meeting number 104 of the God to order. It is a delight, a pleasure, something to welcome each one of you, members, visiting Toastmasters, guests, to a meeting which add value in our day, evening, or night. Whether you are returning after a break or joining us for the very first time, thank you for being here. You have already taken a step which many of us hesitate. Perhaps we tell ourselves that maybe not this time, I'll join another meeting. But here we are. Here we joined a meeting, and that matters the most. So thank you so much once again for joining another beautiful meeting for of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. Now let's begin by knowing each other. If you are a guest or visiting Toastmasters, we would love to know more about you in quick 30 seconds, please. You can please share your name. You can let us know from exactly from where you are signing in today and what brings you to today's meeting. Now, may I request people, especially who are yet to switch on their camera, if you are in a comfortable space, we would love to see you as well. For now, may I request Anutosh Singh, would you please help us understand if you are a Toastmaster or a guest to this meeting?
Hey, do you mean Ashutosh or Anutosh?
My bad, is Ashutosh. You're absolutely right.
Oh,
Ashutosh,
so
please go ahead.
I'm a past member of Sunshine Toastmasters in Hebal, and I know Meeta from Gabbys, so I keep trying to join online meetings nowadays.
Hey, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. I remember Ashutosh, you joined the last meeting. I think it was Thursday. You joined our meeting where I was going through the introduction. So thank you so much once again for joining our Tuesday meeting and my sincere apology for the mispronunciation. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, may I now request Maharshi? Maharshi, if you would like to help us with a quick 30-second introduction, please. Maharshi, if you are speaking, you are on mute. Okay, no problem. By the time you try to unmute yourself and get comfortable with your introduction, may I call, I'm assuming it's Toastmaster Penny. Penny, would you like to help us with a quick introduction?
Hi everyone, Patty. I'm from Break Class. Very glad to join your meeting. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Penny, for joining our meeting. Please stay till the last leg of the meeting. We would love to know about your feedback and evaluation about the current meeting at present. Okay, now quickly, let me check with Priyanka. Priyanka, would you help us with a quick introduction? Are you a guest or a visiting Toastmaster?
Hi, I'm Priyanka here. I'm actually part of Toastmasters for the last 10 years. I was with Smedley Speaker Society and I've just come here to see how the meeting is. And I knew Nancy and most of the members from Gabbys. So I thought, okay, I'll just join and see how the meeting goes around.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priyanka, for gracing us with your presence. And please stay till us till the last leg of the meeting. Okay, in the paucity of time, let's go back to the meeting proceeding. But hey, we are in a Zoom arrangement. Use the chat window wisely, mindfully by sharing an introduction. If it is restricted, don't worry, the host and co host will read it out towards the last end. And while you see speakers or role takers taking the stage, use the emoticons wisely. Use the emoticons as a sign of encouragement to show your love, to show how you feel, but expresses again, mindful is the terminology. Now, we see Toastmasters joining us. Oh, thank you so much. That's a real good example, Toastmaster Akil. Thank you so much for demonstrating the same for rest of our guests and members. Well, that was your introduction. Let me introduce quickly what Toastmaster is all about. We have mostly, predominantly Toastmasters in
Are
this
you
meeting.
introducing all the guests, or
I am so sorry. If someone unmuted, I would request you to please mute at present. I will definitely reach out to you in a while. Okay, thank you so much. So, as we know your introduction, let me introduce Toastmasters to you. Toastmasters started by a visionary leader, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, in the year 1924. 100 years, day in and day out, Toastmasters across the globe are joining together in any kind of Toastmasters meeting to learn the power and importance of public speaking. We all are connecting every time to build a network, to enhance our leadership skills. So that reflects that we are not restricted to one small mindset. We are here. Okay, I do read the chat function, Toastmaster. I'm assuming Suhan Seti. Thank you so much. I'll definitely get your introduction either towards the halfway or towards the end of the meeting, but you can share the same in chat as well. Thank you so much for messaging the same in the chat window. Okay. Now, as Toastmaster is a fraternity where we encourage public speaking, Gabbys is no different. Now, for you, Gabbys is a collaborative family of clubs where we meet both online and offline as well. We meet on hybrid arrangement, we meet online. We are a club who always believes in accepting and experimenting new things. And this meeting is another example for each one of you. Today's meeting is going to be slightly different, the meeting structure. Our TMOD will definitely throw more light on the same. Now, let's go to two quick announcements for you. One is we always love when members come back to Gabbys. Members especially who took a pause for because of their personal and professional commitment, and now they're back to the club once again. So let's put our hands together if they're not in this particular meeting to welcome the new additions to the Gabbys family for the month of June, which they are Toastmaster Isha Roy, Toastmaster Jayesh, and Toastmaster Puneet to the Gabbys family. I'll take a pause while you appreciate these members. Thank you so much. Now, the second announcement is about recently, which is 14th June, we celebrated the Gabbys Day. Yes, we wait for one single day to celebrate the essence of Gabbys, the emotions of Gabbys, which we celebrated last Thursday. And on that particular day, we launched the Gabbys Leadership Newsletter. I'm going to share the link over chat. Once you have your time, go through the same. You will see 26 voices, 26 leadership traits. Let me put it like this: the A to Z of leadership from the people, from the officers who served the club in the past, serving at present as well, because we value each one. Okay, on that note, I have done a lot of talking. Now let's welcome someone who is going to drive and drive this meeting forward from here. And that's none other than the Toastmaster of the day. Now, today's Toastmaster of the Day has brought a very interesting theme, but he's the one who is going to share his unlimited thoughts about the theme and enlighten us about the same. So, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Rahul and for each one of you. Well, Rahul works as a network engineer for Walmart, one of the biggest retailers in the US. With over 5 years of experience and a CCIE certification under his belt, he's incredibly passionate about what he does. But when he's not busy in troubleshooting complex networks, he loves exploring, whether it's a rainy day or a sunshine morning. And when he is with his friends, he believes that that's where the real magic starts. He is a big time music buff, if I'm not mistaken, who be it road trips or the quiet evenings, there is always a tune playing in his background. Please put your hands together to welcome the Vice President Education of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Rahul. The stage is all yours, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Toastmaster Smruti. Now, today's theme is lies we tell ourselves. Even before I start that, let's be honest here. How many of you are going back to office? I mean, like going back from office to your home. That's the reason you can't turn on your camera. Or how many of you here are probably just eating behind the screen and are shy to turn on your camera? If you're into none of these things, I would urge you to turn on your camera so we could also see your beautiful faces. And let it be an interactive session. I can see Priyanka's already turned on her camera. Thank you. So let's start. What are these lies that we tell ourselves? These small, innocent, and completely ridiculous lies that we keep telling ourselves every day, and we kind of seem to be okay with it, and we believe in it, and we think it's a norm. Let me start off with the very good one that I do every morning. I'll be like, I need to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning. I look at my phone, I snooze it off. I'm like, there goes my 6 a.m. plan. This has been happening for months and months together. And I've gotten used to it. It's become my norm. Or even when I say, let me start eating healthy, I always do this when I start eating unhealthy. I have a bite of pizza. I'm like, let me start eating healthy today. Not a good sign at all. Or what about like a simple one? Let me write this down so I'll remember it in the future. Or I'll remember it even without writing it off. Never seems to work. I've forgotten a lot of things by now. So these are small lies that we tell ourselves every day. Is there anything, or the stage is open, any guest or Toastmasters would like to share, or any small lie that you think that we tell ourselves every day and we are convinced of this? It could be anything. Can I see a raise of hands? Anyone? Okay. Yeah. Yes, Toastmaster.
Yeah. We think and we tell ourselves that we are intelligent than others. This, we are more intelligent than others.
That's pretty much it on the nail, actually. You have kind of debunked the entire scenario of what you've done. Now, see Ashutosh raising his hand. Can go for it.
I have the opposite lie that everybody is smarter than me. So I don't need to try things.
Wow. We are seeing the two sides of the coin over here. One who believes is intelligent, the other who believes is not intelligent. So both, I think, you can decide for yourself. I'm going to leave it over there. I'm not going to say any more on that. But okay, Priyanka, go for it.
When I used to decide a particular time for starting, like if it was 6:46 p.m. and I had decided that I had to study at 6:30, I won't get up. I would just start at 7 then.
Isn't this the normal thing that we've grown up with? Lies. But let me tell you something about these small lies that we tell. I feel like even though these small lies has become so much part of our lives that it kind of connects us all right now, right? We all do this, getting up in the morning. We set an alarm. Every one of us, I'm guessing, wants to get up early in the morning. You look at the phone, you snooze it off. Same thing. You want to eat healthy right after eating a pizza. All these things happen. So today was something interesting, which I did. I mean, I was going through Instagram reels, and I thought I'd finish it off. It's just one more reel. I'll finish my one more reel, and I'll be done with the day. It was 5, or it was like mid 3 p.m. at that time when I started off. When I closed my phone, it's almost close to 4 p.m. So I've been going through this reel for so long, which I thought I'll finish in a day, which I thought I'll finish in one reel, but it's been going on for a while. And I told myself I'll stop it in one. So now, since we have a little bit of a stage where we understood that what happens in a little bit of a life, but let me come to our next session of the meeting, which will be taken over by our general evaluator. That'll be none other than Toastmaster Akeel. A little bit about Toastmaster Akeel. Toastmaster Akeel believes in public speaking, and he's also a communication coach who believes that language is more than words. And he also believes that it's a bridge between the two worlds. He recently completed a master's degree in Chinese philosophy at Shanghai Jiao University. Hope I didn't butcher it too much. And is now launching his own communication consulting service. He is rooted in storytelling and service. He's walked the Toastmaster path from VP to division director to conference shop leader and back. Be the stage, the meeting room, or a coffee shop. Akil aims to spark clarity, connection, and the courage to speak with art. Toastmaster Akil, please let us know your role and please introduce to us what your team does. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul. And it's an honor to be here for the first time tonight. It's 10 o'clock, 10:20 in my time in China, but I said I was not going to pass up this opportunity to not only be able to learn from a new Toastmasters club, in my perspective, new for me, but also hopefully I can share a different perspective based on how we do things in mainland China and my own ideas based on what I've seen from different clubs. That is why tonight I decided to take on the role, after being invited, of the general evaluator. And as the general evaluator, my job is kind of twofold. The first is obviously to observe. Look and see, how does this meeting run? What is the culture of the club, and how do the different aspects of the club work together to make these speakers and the guests rise to another level in their public speaking, communication, and leadership journey? The second layer of my role is actually then to go and provide some feedback based on what I've seen on what is actually working to help this growth and what we can tweak a little bit to support our members and our guests even more. That's my role, but obviously I can't see everything and I can't give feedback on everything. So there are a bunch of other role takers along with me to help make sure that we can continue to support all the members of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. The first person is going to be somebody who you should all pay a lot of attention to tonight because they are the timer. The timer, her name is Priya. And Priya is a marketing professional and an academician, big word, in business management. She is passionate about creative writing and poetry, and that you can see there's a balance here, right? Not only does she know how to work hard, but she also knows how to relax and let her creative juices flow. That being said, in her podcast, Soulful Scrolls, she's her dedicated effort to make sure that she is sharing the craft of poetic expression. She's joined the Gabbys Club, mainly driven by her desire to enhance her public speaking skills and grow as an influential voice to make a positive difference and inspire others. And as you can tell by all of the things she's doing, especially in this timer role that she's doing tonight, she's definitely doing that. So please give a big round of applause as we welcome our timer for tonight, Priya.
Thank you, General Evaluator Akeel, for such a warm and wonderful introduction. A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests. As the timer for today's session, I will be timing the speeches and the evaluations. I will alert each speaker of the time they have left by showing the red, the green, the yellow, and the red card respectively. So we have prepared speeches today, and the time limit for the time frame for the prepared speeches is 5 to 7 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At the end of 6 minutes, the yellow card will be raised. And at the end of 7 minutes, the red card will be raised. The speakers will be given a 30-second grace period to wrap up their speech. Similarly, when the evaluation speakers give their evaluations, they get a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. So at the end of 2 minutes, the green card will be shown. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, the yellow card will be shown. And at 3 minutes, the red card will be shown. The evaluation speakers also get 30 seconds to wrap up their speech. I will come back at the end of the session when called upon by the General Evaluator to present my timer report. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Priya. And I'm very excited to hear this poetic timer report that you're going to give us at the end of the meeting. Our next role is new for me, but I think it's definitely really helpful. And that is going to be our language evaluator. Ooh. This language evaluator's name is Sree Lakshmi. And Sree Lakshmi has over 14 years of professional experience in finance and tech consulting projects. And she's built her career as a project management professional. So investing 14 years in anything gives you a certain level of expertise. And we're going to see some of that expertise tonight. Sree Lakshmi, apart from work, also enjoys solo traveling and discovering new places. And I'm assuming she's discovered a bunch of new languages along with that travel. So let's welcome Sree Lakshmi to the stage to introduce her language evaluator role.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Akeel, for this wonderful introduction. So today I'll be playing a dual role, which is an R-counter plus a grammarian role. And I have the pleasure of playing the language evaluator role, which actually allows me to focus on the most essential tool which we all bring to a meeting, which is our language. So throughout the session, I'll be carefully observing all the language used by all the speakers and the role takers to express and connect with us. So I'll be listening for filler words, which is unnecessary interjections, which is and, well, so, Use of crutch words basically actually like any repetitions used, which is this means, and any awkward poses taken by all the speakers or the role takers. So as I mentioned, I'll be playing a dual role. I will also be making note of any outstanding codes and also be having a close attention on the English language. So to further enrich our vocabulary, let me introduce the word of the day today, which is deceptive, which means misleading or giving a false impression. One example in a usage in a sentence: the deceptive stories we whisper to ourselves often keep us from growth. So encourage all the speakers and the role takers to use the word of the day, which is deceptive again, which I'll be putting it in the chat window. So I will come back with my counter report and the grammarian report when called upon by the general evaluator. And before I hand it over to the general evaluator, I'll just like to mention words are powerful, but only when they reach the right ears in the right way. So today, let's see how well our speakers and any role takers shape their language to connect with you, which is our audience. Thank you, and over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Sri Lakshmi. And we can see that your introduction was not deceptive because only a professional project manager could handle doing counter and grammarian at the same time. I'm very much looking forward to the evaluation that you give us at the end of the meeting. The last role taker that's going to be on the general evaluation team, besides our individual evaluators, is the listener for tonight. And tonight's listener is Gurdit. Gurdit is personally on a journey to be an impactful communicator and professional territory business manager. Gurdit, if you didn't pay attention to any of the introductions, there are many professionals here that you can learn from. I definitely know that you're in the right place. In addition to that, he's a recent entrant to the corporate world and trying to juggle never-ending tasks. That being said, tonight, you get to relax and just listen. It is a never-ending task with Toastmasters, but I'm sure you'll do a great job. So let's welcome Gurdeep to explain more about what the listener role has in store for us.
Thank you very much, General Elevator, and a very good evening to everyone. So, as a listener of the day, I'll be listening closely to everything being said in the meeting. And towards the end of the meeting, I'll be drafting few short questions, and I hope everyone listens to the everything being said in the meeting very carefully, so they are able to answer the question at the end. And before handing the stage back to the general elevator, I would like to mention a quote by Mark Brown. To be a good speaker, you need to be a good listener first. So I hope everyone does follow this quote and they will be listening carefully and closely to things being said in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gurdeep. Couldn't have summarized that better myself. I will leave you all with one final thing before I give it back to the Toastmaster of the evening, and it hops off of what we just mentioned. In Toastmasters, we talk about how we want to become better listeners or better speakers, better communicators, and better leaders. One critical aspect of that is being able to listen actively to what's happening. So even if you're not the listener for tonight, part of becoming a better speaker is being able to listen well so that you can identify what speakers are doing well. I encourage everyone, if you're not getting on the stage tonight, to listen, to engage in the chat box. And I'm looking forward to your feedback, as well as my feedback at the end of the meeting. Now I'll give the stage back to our Toastmaster of the meeting, Rahul.
Can you please have a good round of applause for our generally evaluated Toastmaster Akeel for portraying the role so good and giving an in-depth explanation of what he does. Before I move on to the next session of a meeting, I'll tell you a truth on why my video is not on. I lost power at my place, and that is the truth. And it's not because I'm eating or I'm drinking water. So I'll have to continue like this till still my power is restored. So there's no jitter in my speech. Now let me explain to you the next meeting structure. For the benefit of the guest and the Toastmasters, today's meeting will have three speakers and each will be evaluated by two evaluators. That's right, you heard me correct. Two evaluators for each speaker. This is so they can get a diverse and a very rich feedback on what they can work and improve on. A point to note here is that the second evaluator should avoid repeating points and give a new perspective on what can be worked on. And at the ending, as usual, our general evaluator evaluator will review the overall meeting and will give us a good pointers on how we can end meeting. So let me go on to our first speaker. Our first speaker will be Master Priyanka. A little bit about Toastmaster Priyanka. She works as a research associate at a UK based KPO. She also joined Toastmasters to challenge herself, and she connect with inspiring individuals and grow more confident as a speaker. She's passionate about personal growth, and when she's not diving into that, you'll likely find her lost in music. Also, one more thing about Toastmaster Priyanka is that she's also very active in picking up roles, and she picks up a lot of roles in the club meetings. And let me give you the pathway on what she'll be attempting a speech on. Our pathway is leadership development. It's for level one, project number 3. The project name is Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The project objective is the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. Timer, please note the duration is 5 to 7 minutes. And I would also like to confirm our evaluators, Toastmaster Upasana and Toastmaster Sunil. Can you please confirm that if you're here?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. So, Toastmaster Priyanka, faking adulthood like a pro, faking adulthood like a pro, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Priyanka Mehan, and I would like to start my speech with a quick question. How many of you confidently nod in a conversation where you have no clue of what is going on? Just with a quick show of hands. Great, great. This means you guys are already pro at faking your adulthood. You know, when I was little, I used to think that adults are like superheroes. They drove cars, they went to work, they used Excel, and they didn't even cry when they dropped their ice cream. Now, I am an adult. And I realized something shocking. Most of the adults are just figuring it out as they go, hoping that no one notices. And some of us are just better at faking it than others. So consider this speech as a crash course in pretending to be a functional adult. Stage 1, the nodding stage. When my boss says, Priyanka, we need to optimize our bandwidth before deep diving into deliverables, I nod like I'm in a shampoo commercial. Meanwhile, my brain goes like, what is this guy saying? Bandwidth to Wi-Fi ka hota hai? That, my friends, that is what we call as the adult nod. We use it in wedding conversations where uncles are talking about mutual funds and where people come asking about our CTC before they even know our name. And you're just standing right there, smiling politely while dying inside. So, if you don't know what to say, just nod. And like your life depends on it. Stage 2, unraveling your multiple personalities, or simply being aparijit. 1 second, you're typing in an email to your client saying, thank you for reaching out. We're always available for providing you support in any way that we can. And the very next second, you're texting your best friend, I swear, if I receive one more passive aggressive email, I am quitting this company and I'm opening a Momo stall outside IIT. How do we switch between these personalities so fast? Easy. It's adulting. It's performance art, you guys. On the inside, you're just confused little squirrels. But on the outside, you're presentable. You're responsible. Stage 3, the grocery breakdown. The first time that I ever cried in a grocery store wasn't because of my breakup. It was because the price of one piece of cauliflower was above 70 bucks. One piece. And I was just whispering to myself, when did my life become about vegetable prices? That's when I realized I had hit real adulthood. You know you are an adult when the highlight of your week is finding a good detergent deal. Or maybe an early bedtime feels like a wild night. Stage 4, the myth of figuring it out. As we grow up, we feel that adults finally know what they're doing. Spoiler alert, no one knows. Not the 35-year-old with the premium LinkedIn account, not your cousin who runs a startup business, and not even your mom. Although I'll give it to the moms, moms are better at faking it than anyone else. Adulthood isn't about being sure. It's about taking a confident guess and hoping no one asks follow-up questions. And that is fine because faking it means you showed up already anyway. So this brings me to the last stage, which is how to fake it like a pro. I'll give you 3 quick tips. First one, develop your game. Use it when you're confused. Use it when you're tired. Use it when you don't remember what the guy said 4 seconds ago. Just tilt your head and say, fair enough. Second, say, I'll circle it back. Trust me, guys, it works 90% of the times. Third, always have your signature I am listening face on. Would you guys mind trying it with me? Just tilt your face a little. Squint your eyes. Don't close them, just squint them. And nod along. There you go. You're all certified adults now. The thing is, the real truth is that adulthood isn't the final destination. Rather, it is a daily improv show where none of us really got the script. So if you ever find yourself faking it, congratulations, you're doing just fine, because faking it means that the real adulthood has begun. P.S. I still cry when I drop my ice cream. With that, I would like to close my speech. Thank you so much. Back to the Toastmaster.
Can we all have a round of applause for our first speaker? That was such a emotional and heartfelt speech. One thing which you told, which I can tell, is that saying it's a good thing if you do it outside the meeting, but if you're doing it within the meeting, our language evaluator is going to keep increasing that counter to infinity if you keep doing that. That's one thing to take at this. But nonetheless, enjoy your speech. Thank you. Now, moving on, it's our time for a second prepared speech of the evening. Our next speaker is going to be Toastmaster Sahana. A bit about Toastmaster Sahana. She's basically from Bangalore and she's currently working for Dell and has a decade of experience developing software in the IT industry. She loves singing poetic tune like the Kannada Bhagavad Gita, movie songs, and now endlessly playing along with her 3-year-old daughter. She used to read fiction back when she had enough time, and recently she started reading a couple of self-help books. And the project she's attempting is going to be on presentation mastery. The level is L3, project number 3. It's an elective speech, and the project name is researching and presenting. The purpose of this object is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Timer, please note, the speech duration is for 5 to 7 minutes. And could I please have a confirmation from our evaluators, Toastmaster Sachin and Toastmaster Gaurav, that you are on the room, represent in the room?
Yes, I am present.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Thank you for the confirmation. Toastmaster Sahana, awaken the rhythm within. Awaken the rhythm within. Toastmaster Sahana.
Hi guys, am I audible and visible? I would like to share my screen as I have a small presentation. Can you please confirm? Is this fine? I can proceed.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, my dear guests. Have you ever wondered why some mornings you wake up and you feel so energetic and full of fresh feeling, or some other mornings you feel like a truck ran over your will to live, or why your mind is racing with ideas just when it's time to sleep in the night. Right? I've been there too. As a working mother of an energetic 3-year-old baby, I often feel like I was chasing the time, never ahead of it, until I discovered a beautifully simple concept in Ayurveda which shifted everything. It all started when I joined a webinar which was about women health almost a year back. So, an Ayurvedic practitioner guided us through 21 days, and I learned something very interesting. I was not looking for any ancient wisdom, but I really wanted to understand more about myself. And what I found was a simple concept called the dosha clock. It's an age old Ayurvedic idea that maps out how our energies ride up and down through a 24-hour clock of a day. And what's amazing is that when you learn to ride with the rhythm instead of fighting it, your life becomes much lighter. So let me ask a small question. I guess many of you are aware of the Panchabhutas or the 5 elements of nature. Can you name them for me? I'll probably start. Air.
Air, water, fire, space,
Earth.
earth.
Earth. Yes, perfect. Air, water, space, fire, and earth. Here they are for you. And as Ayurveda says that our body is also governed by 3 natural energies or named as doshas called Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And these are combinations, these Vata, Pitta, Kapha are combinations of certain of a combination of these Panchabhutas, like Vata is a combination of space and air, Pitta is of fire and water, and Kapha is of earth and water. Let me give you a quick glance of what these are and how the dosha clock is designed. Every day, each of these doshas dominates during the certain hours. Like you can see here, understanding this dosha clock helped me stop pushing myself at the wrong times and instead start flowing with the natural rhythm. So, a quick glance through this Ayurvedic clock, or so called the dosha, Tridosha clock. You can say that the whole day is divided into 4-hour slots. Let me start with the first slot, which is in the day 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So, this time is slow, heavy, and calm. That's why when you sleep in too late, you feel very sluggish or very heavy throughout the day. So what helps? Wake up early. Add in a light movement, a gentle yoga, a brief walk, so move to shake off the heaviness. Have light, warm breakfast. Next comes 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., where Pitta. It helps you have energy, focus, and digestion, which are at their peaks. You're ready to take on the world. So what helps is do important tasks at this point of time and have a big lunch. Make lunch your main meal of the day because your body is ready to take it. Next comes 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., which is Vata. And Vata brings lightness, creativity, and movement. But beware, because it can also make you feel scattered or very tired, restless if you're not grounded. So, do tasks that help you, that require imagination or creative thinking, and maybe take a walk, which helps you stabilize your energy. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. comes Kapha again. Your body starts to slow down. Natural time to unwind. Have an early dinner, spend time with family, connect with them, and Avoid screens and bright lights close to the bedtime. Next comes 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., which is Pitta again. And here's the surprising thing, when you're sleeping, the Pitta is working. It's the internal fire that helps in cleansing, digesting, and healing the body. So, what you're supposed to do? Hit the deep sleep by 12 p.m. 12 a.m. for good digestion and repair. Otherwise, you might get a second wind and stay up tired but weird because of the vata entering there. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is a very rich spiritual time because vata brings peaceful, subtle, and you will be full on clarity. So many traditions follow this practice, which is also called as the Brahmi Muhurtam, where you wake up early and practice meditation. Give it a try because even 10 minutes of quietness can set a calm tone for the whole day. Now, you may ask, do I really need to follow this? Well, we can remain deceptive to nature's rhythms for a while, but sooner or later, nature will ask you to rejuvenate, recharge, and realign. And the best news? Nature will always welcome us back. For me, even a small change like eating early dinner or sleeping by 10, 11 helped me feel more alive and I became calm. So, friends, if you've been trying to find more energy, better sleep, or just a little more peace, don't look far. Look at the time and listen to your body. As a renowned Ayurvedic practitioner said, live according to your nature and its rhythms, and nature will take care of you. Thank you.
Can we all give a round of applause for our speaker, Toastmaster Sahana? You gave us basically an entire crash course on what needs to be done from morning to evening. And thank you well for that. It was very informative and it was a pleasure listening to you speak. Now, let me move on to our final speaker of the meeting. That will be Toastmaster Smruti. Something about Toastmaster Smruti is that she doesn't need no introduction by this point. Everybody knows her. So I'll skip that part and go to her project details. One more thing which the Zoom moderator need to note down is, could you please not record the speech for Toastmaster Smruti? She has requested that not to record a speech. For Toastmaster Smruti. And I can't say much about speech right now because I believe the recording is on. But thanks a lot for sharing your experience, Toastmaster Smruti. And we get why you wanted the recording to be not on. And so there's one thing which I learned about today's speeches. Even though the title says lies we tell ourselves, all the speakers spoke nothing but the truth. So I would like to think that I spoke a little bit, I kind of like maybe invoke a little bit of consciousness where all of you are forced to speak truth today. That's something I'll take credit for. Now, we'll have a short break for 5 minutes. But before that, I would like all the members over here, Toastmasters and guests, to think about one lie that you tell yourself, but you secretly know it's a lie. It's not the truth. I'll tell one. Today, when I woke up, I thought, my messy hair is going to look pretty. It's really not. I'm struggling here. This goes on day by day. It's like a playing a roll of the dice. One day it looks good, one day it doesn't look good. Today it's kind of okayish. This is a lie I told myself in the morning, which I realize it's not the true now. And I believe Zoom moderated. So Toastmaster, I think, can go for a break for 5 minutes. Could you please time it? Yeah. Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm back. I can see still some members are still not on the video. Okay. So, okay, I can see people are coming back now. Thank you. So, here's my question. My question is the same. What is one lie that you tell yourself, but you secretly know it's not the, I mean, not lie, sorry. What's one truth that you tell yourself that you think it's a lie? Okay. Yes, I believe Arish, yeah.
Yeah, the only lie which I or other we all tell ourselves every day, every night is that we're going to wake up tomorrow.
Wow. Well, to be honest, I've not been wrong till now, so I can tell it's the truth. That was a very good take on the topic. Thank you. Anyone else would like to take a go for it? So I'm guessing everybody here tells the truth only. Or I'm the only one who tells a lie, and few of us over here. Anyone else? Come on, it's open stage. It's open, safe space. You can talk your minds out. It's a conversation. You don't need to feel a little stressed or anything. You can even turn off your camera and speak to me. That's fine. It's it's the it's a conversation that matters. Okay, still, I'm guessing people are still mesmerized or taken back by all the speeches that they had before. Now, let me go back. Okay, fine. I'll give you like a couple of scenarios. You tell me whether it's a lie or something that you feel is the truth. For one, I'll start exercising from tomorrow. How many of you think is a lie you'd keep telling yourself every day? I will exercise tomorrow. Okay. Okay, now I see people are coming up. That's good. That's good. Everyone, that's nice. What about this is a very good lie. What about that one lie we tell ourselves? I will give the speech this week. This week I'll give a speech. And it's been like months and months, and you're still looking at the same, pathway in the project and looking at yourself. When will I do this? Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. I can see a lot of engagement in this. That's good. So today we learned that we can give speeches, and that doesn't need to be a lie. Let's make it a reality. That's including me. I haven't like given a speech in months, to be honest. So I'll take that advice for self. Now, let me go back to our next, stage of our meeting, which is the most essential and crucial part of this meeting. That is the general evaluation. Now, our general evaluator needs no more introduction. He's made his presence very clear on this meeting. I would like to give the stage back to him, and please give us your insights on how the meeting went.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I will first invite the individual evaluators for our first speakers. The first individual evaluator will be, for Priyanka, will be Upasana, Toastmaster Upasana. And Toastmaster Upasana is you'll love this, a chirpy, happy-go-lucky bookworm who loves to eat, cook, travel, listen to music, and read about Indian mythology. So it seems like we've got a lot of culture and a lot of arts going on here, which is wonderful. She's also been fortunate enough to visit 13 different countries, and she loves exploring new cultures. Currently, Upasana works as a senior technical writer for a MNC, multinational company. If you don't know what that is, it was new for me. So I'm very excited to hear how this technical writer gives feedback to our very humorous speaker. Welcome to the stage, Upasana, to evaluate Priyanka's speech.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Priyanka, what a wonderful speech and what a wonderful topic. Yes, adulthood is horrible. I mean, that is the word which comes to my mind. Even I thought the same way what you have thought, that when I was a child, when I'll grow up, when I'll be an adult, I'll have fun and all. No fun. But nevertheless, we have to live. We cannot reverse the time. Let me go towards your good points and what I love the most. First is your voice modulation. You have been true to your project objective, and it was a delight to hear you. We could understand your frustration, your excitement, and even if your sarcasm also. So kudos on that. Second good was your hand gestures. Again, I have 2 points over here. I'll give you in the point of improvement also, but just into this space, your hand movements were extremely crisp. It was a delight to see. It was not too over, not too less, appropriate. Third, you had very good micro expressions. We could understand your frustration and sarcasm through your expressions. Even if you did not modulate your voice, your expressions was apt for it. So very beautiful usage of this virtual stage and virtual presence. And the fourth is the way you have given examples. It was very easy, every day-to-day examples, and everybody could relate it. So very well done with examples. And I must emphasize on this because not everybody is capable of giving a very appropriate examples. Also, the examples were, even though there were more than 3, but it was in time. Also, it was as proper as possible. So, I mean, 100 out of 100 on this. Now, let me go to a point of improvement. First, since the TMOD has introduced you, or sorry, the general evaluator has introduced you, you do not need to thank him or her. You do not need to reintroduce yourself. You are already introduced, okay? So keep that in mind. Second, if possible, please remove the background, because the moment you go over here, your hand movements, it is invisible. See, it comes over here, you can see my hands. It goes here, you cannot see my hand. Correct? So there were times where it went beyond. Up until here, you were crisp. As I said, there are 2 points for your hand gestures. And the third is, make sure that sometimes you the hand gestures, even if they were up until here, it was invisible. So just the background issues, nothing else. I'm sure you are a very seasoned speaker. Looking forward to hear more of your speeches, and you have a good lay of sarcasm. So please use that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Upasana. Oh, go ahead, Priyanka. Toastmaster Priyanka.
Oh, no, I was just thanking you.
I agree with the thank you. And I will save my add-ons for our second evaluator because I don't want to overlap. That being said, our second evaluator for Priyanka is Toastmaster Sunil. And Toastmaster Sunil actually does need some introduction because he's done a great job introducing the Smruti at the beginning of the meeting. He is a very enthusiastic person, and he's mostly enthusiastic about learning new things to evolve himself. And Toastmaster Sunil also has an ardent passion for playing cricket and speaking English. He is a strong believer in simplicity, integrity, and hardworking. He's joined Toastmasters to develop his public speaking in English and his communication skills. And in addition to that, he always prefers to build good, strong relationships to enhance his human assets. You can see that from the way he's interacted with the audience, and I'm sure we'll see that from the way that he gives his introduction. Please welcome Toastmaster Sunil to the stage.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Priyanka. Trust me, I'm not fake, announcing that it was a truly an intriguing and thought-provoking speech. The opening was perfect, which was a question. A well-structured, well-articulated speech in 5 stages of adulthood. Great. I loved your comfort level. It was very high, starting to the conclusion. There was a smile on your face throughout the speech. And your conclusion. If you are not able to fake adulthood, it's fine. So it teaches us that no need to fake adulthood or anything. I have also 2 recommendations for you. You used vocal variety. You were smiling. You were using, your high vocal variety, high tone pitch. But there were genuinely some moments in your speech where you could have used low pitch voice. Like when you said, I'm shocking when I see adults. Shocking. You have to, oh, shocking. When you said, when you don't know, just nod. So in that moment, you are smiling. If someone doesn't know anything, he keeps silent and just. And once you said that when you whisper, again you were smiling. Whispering, whispering has another tone, very slow. Now, second part of vocabulary is pause. I somewhere found that pauses were missing. If you could have used pause after every stage, it has it had given time to audience to grab your message, your stages. And another thing is that unintentional movement. You were shaking, moving throughout your speech here and there. So it's a kind of overuse of your gestures. Otherwise, it was really a thought-provoking speech. You gave a message that no need to fake adulthood. Be real. However, if you could have given it by using low tone at certain points, it would have reached on a higher level. Please try to use low tone voice. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
I'll wait for you, Priyanka. Sorry, tried to balance it out. Still, we overlapped, but I thank you, Sunil, as I know Priyanka just did. I thank both the evaluators today, and I agree with a lot of what was said. I do think that, Priyanka, you did a fantastic job. First of all, being able to characterize the different types of adults that there are, using your facial expressions, and also using a little bit of the body language, not necessarily hand gestures, but the way that you shifted your body, the way you leaned in or leaned back, in order to help us get that feeling that we all are familiar with, which is we're just trying to figure this thing out. So I agree a lot with what all of our evaluators have said when they point to this. I also agree with the fantastic use of humor and the way that it seemed to suit you, because the comfort level for the entire speech, I think, lent to the body language and the facial expressions and the change in vocal variety feeling natural because you were speaking from the heart very authentically. And the humor that came through felt like it was part of how you would be speaking if you were talking to a friend. The entire speech felt like a conversation, which was fantastic. I want to add on 3 points. The first point is I do want to add on with time, because I've noticed that your speech was around 5 minutes. And even if we go and we take the suggestion with Toastmaster Upasana gave, which I wholeheartedly agree with, you don't need to reintroduce yourself or rethank the Toastmaster of the evening. You were probably around 5 minutes. Personally, I think this was great. I love that we're breaking the mold that every Toastmaster speech needs to be 7 minutes or 7.5 minutes. What we do as Toastmasters is we try to make sure we use the amount of time necessary to communicate the message that we need to communicate. If you can communicate it in 5 minutes, I think that that's fine. So I actually would applaud you for being able to do all of this, cover so much content in 5 minutes. One thing that I do want to make sure that I highlight is, and this is going to what both evaluators, both Sunil and Upasana mentioned, which is the hand gestures coming from the bottom. In this particular speech, since your goal was to focus on hand gestures and body language, I would recommend when setting up for this to actually set up so we can see about the upper half of your body. That's going to make it so much more clear. And then you have room. You can lean in, you can lean out, you can move around a little bit more. That way, when you want to use the hand gestures, they're there. You can step back. And you don't need to feel like you're smothering yourself by trying to fit everything in this small screen. Again, at the end of the day, we do want to make sure we're meeting these objectives. So set yourself up for success, even if sometimes we're still kind of faking it because we're not sure what success really looks like. Overall, I agreed with a lot of what our evaluators said, and I think I'm really excited to see how you continue to grow as a Toastmaster. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Priyanka. Now, I want to welcome the evaluators for our second prepared speaker. Our prepared speaker, Sahana's first evaluator, is Gaurav. And Gaurav is a design engineer based in Bangalore. He holds an undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering and a postgraduate degree in tool engineering. I feel like soon we'll add another degree in Toastmaster engineering as an evaluator. But he's also passionate about gaming, bike rides, and sketching. And he's eager to enhance his public speaking and leadership abilities. He's joined the Toastmasters Club and looks forward to making new friends. Hopefully, you all will feel like he's a friend that you want to make to get some more helpful feedback after his evaluation today. Please welcome Toastmaster Gaurav to the stage.
So Toastmaster Sahana, or should I say Dr. Sahana, what a speech it was. I mean, I could just understand what you said in such simple words. I didn't even have to think or put in efforts to understand what you said. Your presentation, it was so crisp, it was so clear. I request you to just share me the PPT right after this call. It was that good. And this was a topic wherein we all connect, right? We all are humans. We all have flaws. And you taught us how to connect better, how to have a better health by just maintaining your food habits, your sleeping habits, and you're good. Along with that, you had an amazing voice modulation. Your grammar was amazing. For example, the rhetorical questions you had. Do we really have to follow this? And the metaphors you used, like, feels like truck running over you in the morning. So all of this was just so amazing. I mean, it just, your speech just connected with the audience so much better. Some of the recommendations I would give is starting off. Before your speech starts, make sure you're within the window. Do an AV check before the speech starts, before the meeting starts, so that you will be good and you don't have to ask all the time, am I audible? Am I visible? You don't have to do that. Your hand gestures, as I said, it wasn't in the window, it was way below. So make sure it is within the window so that we can connect with you better as to how you are thinking. Is it past, present, or the future? Your eye contact, maybe you had notes down below or somewhere, we are not sure, but it was off most of the time. So it went down, it went up. So at some points, we were struggling to understand, wait, is she giving the speech to us or what's going on? So that's somewhere you can, correct yourself. Your presentation, your speech was amazing with amazing voice modulations. But you know what would have made it a lot better? Connecting yourself with the speech, with the content. For example, you could have said how you made changes in your life that helped you right now. What is those small changes? Maybe it's your kid or your husband. What are the changes you have implemented in your family to probably improve their health? I feel all of this, the presentation, everything was amazing. Your voice modulation was amazing. The content, you served the purpose of your speech today. It was amazing. Some parts where you could improve is do a proper AV check before and make sure you have a proper visual contact, you have eye contact with your audience. That is your screen right now or the camera. And adding a personal story would make it just amazing. Keep up the good work, Toastmaster Sahana, and we would like to have more such speeches from you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. Let's move now into our second evaluator for Toastmaster Sahana, which is Sravan, Toastmaster Sravan. Toastmaster Sravan.
Sorry.
Toastmaster.
Sorry to interrupt you, Toastmaster. I think I am going to evaluate Toastmaster Smruti.
You are right. I skipped Toastmaster Sachin, and Toastmaster Sachin looked at me very confused earlier. So sorry. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Let me please go and introduce Toastmaster Sachin to evaluate Toastmaster Sahana. Toastmaster Sachin is a finance professional with over 23 years of experience across IT, healthcare, biotech startups, retail, and e-commerce and FMCG sectors. A lot of experience, and so he's bringing a lot of experience to this evaluation role. He's a chartered accountant and an alumnus of both IIM Bangalore and Columbia Business School, and is currently serving as a chief financial officer at Aza Fashions Private Limited in Mumbai. He oversees global finance operations for the United States and India, and today is overseeing the second evaluation for Toastmaster Sahana's speech. Let's give Toastmaster Sachin a big round of applause.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Akeel, for a kind introduction. And good evening, Toastmasters and guests, particularly Toastmaster Sahana, for a wonderful speech. Congratulations on delivering the L3P3 speech. And I must say you have done an outstanding job. So every speech has three parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. You started with a question, and then you immediately connected with the audience. So whenever you start with a question, you immediately grabs audience attention, which was well done. Coming to the body section, you spoke about how energies are up and down during 24 hours. Then you spoke about Panch Bhutas, meaning 5 elements. And again, you connected with the audience by asking the question, what are the 5 elements? That was also well done and well connected with the audience. You spoke about the Ayurveda clock and 3 dosas, Vita, Pitta, and Kapha, and gave us how you feel during each dosas, and also gave tips about the activities during each dosas. Which shows that you have done a lot of research on this. So it was well researched. Then you ended with a very powerful conclusion: live according to nature and rhythm. That was a really powerful conclusion. So some of the areas where you excelled at, the content was solid and well researched. The use of PowerPoint with pictorial representation was icing on the cake. So the presentation was really good and it immediately connected with us. We could easily understand the entire concept of dosas. So it was very clear to us with your powerful presentation. You spoke with a lot of clarity and confidence and were very comfortable on the stage. You connected well with the audience by asking a couple of questions. And I must say, the voice modulation was great. I totally, on the recommendation part, I totally agree with the recommendation by Gaurav, Toastmaster Gaurav. One thing I have to add is, you could have used your body language in a much better way with more movement. That would have made your speech much better and more impactful. Apart from that, I did not find any flaws in your speech. So Toastmaster Sahana, overall a great speech and enlightening speech. Thank you for an outstanding speech, and over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Akeel.
Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, and also thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. Toastmaster Sahana, I agree with a lot of what has been said from your evaluators. I think, especially as somebody who's new to the culture, I have no context whatsoever for it's called the, or Ayurvedic?
Ayurvedic, yes.
Ayurvedic, right? And the dosha clock.
Dosha.
No idea whatsoever, no context. And I left here feeling like, oh, not only do I understand what it is, but I can also connect it to something that I do know. And it felt like you were somebody who, if I had more questions, I could go and ask, and you would be able to tell me about it. I think this shows that you 100% reached your speech objectives. So I do want to highlight that I agree a lot with what has been said. There are 3 points that I also want to highlight just for some consideration. The first is, when it comes to presenting PowerPoints, I actually think, especially for a research style presentation like this was a fantastic way to do it. I've seen some people try to use the presentation setting where they put their face on the PowerPoint, but I think that would have been much more distracting than what you did tonight. Not only were we able to see you and the PowerPoint clearly side by side, but a lot of us on Zoom, because of the way you presented it, we can adjust it so we can make the PowerPoint a little bit bigger and make you smaller if we want to. So fantastic choice. And I'm not sure if you practiced this ahead of time or if you just present a lot on Zoom so you knew this was a good option. But either way, it shows preparation. And so I really think you did a fantastic job with even just that small detail of choosing how will you present your slides. Another point that I want to go, in addition to the slides, is how can we make it a little bit more clear? For anyone who's ever seen any sort of PowerPoint presentation. I think we've all been in a situation where somebody puts a bunch of information on a slide and then reads to us. And we're trying to find the details there. And I think, again, because of the way the presentation style that you used, you could have shifted the slides a little bit. One option would have been actually if you have the dosha, and then instead of putting all 6, I think, parts of them all at once, and then the explanation at the bottom, give us the empty clock. And then as you go to a different phase, fill in the clock and have a description on the side of what is happening in that part. That way we can see a little bit more clearly and focus on the clock for a little bit and then focus on you. And we're not all trying to squint. Yeah. So I think this would have made the presentation smooth, and you already broke it up in that way anyway, your speech. So it wouldn't have had to be any changes for your speech itself. Another thing that I would have, that I want you to keep in mind is more specific into the suggestion that Toastmaster Gaurav gave you, which is as you're going now through these different parts, it would have been really nice for you to explain what this part of the dosha is, and then say how it affected your life and what change you made. Or even if you just say, after I understood that this is what happened, I started doing this and I saw the change. We really only got that reflection happening at the very end. But it helps us to understand a little bit more concretely if you can lace your personal story alongside the explanation that you're giving. Overall, I think our evaluators did a fantastic job highlighting some of the positives and also the areas for improvement. And Sahana, I'm looking forward to your next speech.
Thank you, Akeel. Sure.
Now, we will move into our fifth evaluator of the evening to evaluate Toastmaster Smruti's speech. And this time, Toastmaster Sravan, I promise. So, Toastmaster Sravan is an experienced IT professional. He specializes in regulatory compliance and IT systems governance. But he also has been an active member in Toastmasters International for over 3 years, and he served as club president, immediate past president of the TCS Maitri Toastmasters Club in Pune. Pune, thank you. He plays flute and violin. It seems like your members are all just very balanced with culture and also science and technology. It's very impressive. And is currently pursuing a master's degree in yoga with a deep interest in human and animal behavior psychology. I'm sorry, I got so interested in the introduction that I was taken away, but I am sure Toastmaster Sravan has a lot more to say about Toastmaster Smruti's speech. So let's welcome him to the stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akeel. Toastmaster Smruti, your confidence is truly admirable and sets a strong tone for your delivery. Your voice modulation, diction, and use of punctuation are impressive and add clarity to engagement to your speech. These aspects made your presentation enjoyable and inspiring to listen to. Well done. The objective of your speech was to present a well organized speech about your experience serving as a volunteer leader. While your personal experiences were valuable, I feel the speech could benefit from a clearer structure to align more closely with this objective. As an evaluator, I can understand the intent behind your speech, but general audience members may not have the same level of understanding about the context. It would be helpful to brief introduction of your speech objective at the beginning before diving into the content. Say, for example, today I'm going to talk about my personal experience of my leadership journey while volunteering so and so club under so and so district. I'm going to share my experiences. If we would have start with that, people would have connect immediately. What is that you're saying? And then coming to in the first minute, you began directly with your experience, which may have left some listeners unsure of the purpose of or direction of the talk. To enhance clarity and impact, I encourage you to provide a brief introduction that outlines the purpose of your speech. Structure your content around key leadership skills. Say, for example, you have applied your first leadership skill as a resilience. What is that? What are all the experiences you have under the resilience. Next, you have applied the leadership skill of motivating or leading by example. What are all the exam experiences you had with that club? So that way, if you would have structure, it will be definitely great speech. So present these skills in a bullet points or clear segments to make it easier for the audience to follow and retain. I believe a more structured approach will help your audience better understand and connect with your message. I challenge you to revisit your speech with this in your mind and bring out the full potential of your inspiring story. In a nutshell, it was like a great beat of a pop song, but lyrics cannot be understood by the listeners. So that is the feeling I had. So wishing you all the best in your future speaking engagements and leadership journey. All the best. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Akeel.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sravan. Sometimes it's hard to give tough love to our members in our club, especially experienced members. But I do appreciate, and I'm sure Toastmaster Smruti appreciates it as much as well, giving that feedback when you're like, hey, I don't think you met the objectives. Let's do it again. Thank you so much for that tough love, because that's what helps us to grow. Now, our last individual evaluator for the night, and also the second evaluator for Toastmaster Smruti, is Toastmaster Joane. And Toastmaster Joane is a content writer, a passionate reader, and an introvert who finds joy in conversation. She immerses herself in diverse music genres and languages, while her free evenings are spent treasure hunting in vintage bookstores and stationery stores. She hails from Mumbai, and she cherishes sunrises and sunsets at Marine Drive. I'm sure she also cherishes Smruti's speech, and we'll hear a little bit about it. So let's welcome Toastmaster Joane to the stage.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'm audible, I hope. Yes? Thank you. What a wonderful evaluation my previous evaluator gave. So to top it up is going to be difficult. So let me throw in some love first to you, my dear Smruti, and let me tell you what I loved about your speech. So I have to call out the fact that your confidence came in when you changed your background, because right now you have a black background, but for the speech specifically, you removed the background, you stood up and you came confidently and spoke. So this is something I want to shout out and ensure that all of us incorporate in our speeches. We take things too lightly in Toastmasters meeting, but I appreciated that you gave it the 100% with that preparation with which you came, setting up the background and setting yourself up. Second, I'll tell you what I loved. The way you threw metaphors and similes in your entire speech. You know, you compared green room to the real life. You then said something like it was high as a kite. You gave a simile. You simply said, you know, the WhatsApp group was as silent as a library. And I love these comparisons and similes and metaphors that you gave throughout the speech. That made me realize that you have a very good command on language. And that's the third thing I'll tell you. You know what, Smruti, you're a very deceptive speaker. And I'll tell you why. It doesn't matter whether your speech is organized or not. Your language, your command on the vocabulary and diction is so good that you attracted me as an audience to just keep on listening to you. And it was like a pleasure to just simply listen what she's saying. In the end, whether I understand or not, that's totally, I'll leave it up to the audience, right? But it was pure pleasure because of your command on language. These are some of the things that I really loved in your speech. Now, what can I give you back so that you can go back, consider to improve, and come back and make this a great speech? First thing I'll tell you, your introduction was quite extended, I feel. You know, in introduction, personally, what I do is first 30 seconds to 1 minute, the audience should know at least what I'm talking about, or I should be able to set up the mystery, which you were trying to do when you said about the red carpet, the poster, and all of that. But your introduction was dragged to 2 to 3 minutes. I was counting the time. You did not hit on the actual problem till 3 minutes. Too much time for a 7 minute speech, right? So shorten your introduction and bang on, make it so crisp that if you're trying to mystify it, then let the mystery come out in 1 minute. If you're trying to give away the whatever the speech is, then let it come out in 1 minute. So shorten that. That's the first thing I would think about. Second, I'll tell you is the voice modulation, where I differ from the previous evaluator, but this is my personal opinion. While your language and diction is superb, I felt like there was so much more scope for voice modulation. When you were talking about the old people and the way the dialogues that you use, you could have modulated the US accent, you could have modulated the dialogues to make us feel how irritating it was or frustrating it was when actually you were talking to them. Second, voice modulation is for the emotions. You spoke about things that made you angry, frustrated, but your tone was the same throughout the speech. So modulating that anger, the frustration, why don't they understand? Why don't they listen to me? Why can't they just take me seriously? That frustration and emotion, I wanted to feel it. And I think voice modulation will help you. Third, I'll tell you your title, Beyond the Banner. I wish you could have connected that beyond the banner somewhere in the speech. I was looking for that banner and I was looking for what went beyond the banner. And unfortunately, I couldn't find it. Overall, I'll tell you, Smruti, you're a deceptive speaker and you're a maverick when it comes to language. So you can hold your own audience and your stage. I appreciate and I call out and shout out for that. But in this case, if you can, shorten your introduction, think about voice modulation to attract more people. And when you bring a title, let's justify the title by giving it a conclusion in the entire speech. And this speech will be, from good to great. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
I'll wait for you, Toastmaster Smruti.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sravan and Toastmaster Joane.
I 100% agree. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sravan and Toastmaster Joane. There were so many great insights that were brought out there, and I agree with a lot of what was brought up. I don't want to spend too much time emphasizing all the things I agree with, but I will pull out the things that I agree with and want to add a little bit more detail to. I first want to pull out the idea that we had coming out here that we can shorten this introduction and even the way that we do the introduction, because I agree with Toastmaster Joane and Toastmaster Sravan that the way that the introduction was done could have been shortened. In fact, I noticed that you said there's going to be a lot of Toastmasters jargon, but there really wasn't. I think the only thing that people would not have known too much about was when you talked about the area director, that role, right? But you said, "Oh, I'm going to visit my clubs." The biggest jargon, I think, for me, and maybe this is because I've already done area director, but I think even then, the biggest jargon was just the words that you use for like treats, and then you had to translate. But everything else, you talked about contests. You talked about them not necessarily wanting to go and meet certain goals, but I think you could have cut out that entire part and the audience would not have been too confused. Or if you were afraid they would be confused, just give a little explanation when you get to that part. When it comes to the first part about what Toastmaster Sravan said about giving more context for your speech and what it's going to be about, I do think that you can submit that context. I also think that that should be the individual evaluator to read it before your speech. So the individual evaluator gives the audience more of the context that you've sent them to give to the audience. That way, when you start, they know what's happening, you know what's happening, and you can go and jump right into this speech about your area director's experience. One thing that I also want to echo is I agree a lot with Toastmaster Joane in the idea that personalizing those voices a little bit more. Even if you're like not great at accents and you don't want to try to do the American accent, I do think getting more into that characterization of the persons, because like you said, Toastmasters, I think particularly in the US, they tend to be a lot older than they are in India, right? So give us that feeling. You're working with people who are brilliant, they're wonderful people, but they're kind of stuck in their ways. Yeah. One final thing that I would that I want to go and throw out there. Oh, sorry, there's two final things. The one is about what Toastmaster Joane had mentioned, which is about the title. I think the title fix could have been a tweet just by saying behind the poster instead of behind the banner, since that's actually what you started off with, right? And that's a quick and easy fix, and then all of a sudden the story ties together. You just kind of go and link it back at the end. This is one final word, and this is mostly just because I've been through it. And I think this speech was done not too early, but it was done early. And so what I found listening to it was there was still a lot of processing happening. There were a lot of emotions and a lot of experiences that you were trying to be able to explain to us, but I don't think you're yet processed them enough to be able to deliver them concisely. Because all of these situations, I think, are great, and they could be short 1-minute stories, but then they end up being about 3-minute stories or 4-minute stories. So I encourage you now to continue to process, because as a former area director, as a former division director, there's so much more that you can get from these experiences, and so much more that you can give to encourage these our fellow Toastmasters to keep doing it. So continue to process, continue to give that context to the speakers in advance so that they know, and you can spend more of the time speaking and less of the time explaining. And I think that everyone's going to be more motivated to join area director after you're done. So thank you so much to our evaluators, and thank you again, Toastmaster Smruti. Now, I still have to talk a little bit more, but I promise you there are going to be more people who talk before I continue to do so. And I want to start to wrap up. Well, I just want to double check, Toastmaster Rahul, it will be me that just continues to introduce my team now for their report.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much. I want to now go and introduce back onto the stage our general evaluation team, because they've been taking notes. And the first person that I want to introduce is our timer, Priya, to give her timer report. Let's give a big round of applause for Priya.
Thank you. I'll just share the timer report. Yeah. So is the screen visible, the timer report?
Yes.
Okay, so all are qualified. Unfortunately, Toastmaster Joanna Joseph crossed the evaluation time. So other than her, all the others are qualified. Thank you. I'll share the timer report in the chat box.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. And it's not easy being a timer, especially for an online meeting. So we really appreciate your dedication. Let's go and keep the ball rolling as we move into our language evaluator tonight, Toastmaster Sri Lakshmi. Let's welcome Toastmaster Sri Lakshmi back to the stage.
Yeah, thank you once again. I will just go ahead and share my screen. Yeah, hope my screen is visible.
It is visible now.
Correct. So coming over to the first R counter report. So kudos to Toastmaster Smruti, Akeel, Priya, Gurdeep, Sravan, Joane. I believe I've covered everyone for less number of crutch words and filler words used. And moving over to the grammarian report. So today's word of the day was deceptive. And it was actually used by Toastmaster Akeel, Toastmaster Sahana, Toastmaster Smruti. Good usages in today's meeting: adult nod, unraveling multiple personalities, fake it like a pro, energies ride up and down, rejuvenate and realign, live according to nature, rhythm and practices, grounded contest, change with collaboration, icing on the cake, good to great. So I would like to congratulate all the speakers today for a good language usage, because most of the sections have been covered. So in terms of rhetorical questions, how many of you confidently nod with Toastmaster Priyanka? Have you ever wondered that some mornings you feel with Toastmaster Sahana? Have you ever wondered if I'm real with Toastmaster Smruti? And Annapura usage, but it was my time. It was my time to act collaboratively by Toastmaster Smruti. One epithet used, shining and glittering eyes by Toastmaster Smruti. Hyperpora, can you name the 5 elements by Toastmaster Sahana? Rule of 3, cleaning, healing and digesting by Toastmaster Sahana again. Growth, grit and grace by Toastmaster Smruti. Ungood usage of metaphors and similes. Feels like truck running over you by Toastmaster Sahana. Walking on the red carpet by Toastmaster Smruti. WhatsApp group was silent by Toastmaster Smruti. Some recommendations to call out: stop pushing myself in wrong time. Stop pushing myself at the wrong time. Make lunch main meal of the day. Make lunch the main meal of the day, as proper as possible, as appropriate as possible. So I would be uploading the grammarian report in the chat window. And over to you. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Wow. Thank you so much, language evaluator Sri Lakshmi. Definitely can tell project management skills came in clutch in that. Now let's go and move into our final member of the GATL team, which is our listener for tonight, who has been listening and is going to give you a little bit of a pop quiz. So welcome Toastmaster Gurdeep back to the stage.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So are you guys ready? I'm ready with my questions, and I hope everybody has listened closely to everything being said in the meeting. So here goes the first question. In which company our TMOD is working in?
Walmart.
That's correct. And it was, I guess it was TM Smruti. Let's have it for TM
Yeah.
Smruti.
It was Priya.
Sorry, that's okay. Let's have it for TM Priya as well.
Thank you.
Okay. In which subject, here goes the second question. In which subject our general evaluator, Akeel, has completed his master's in?
Yoga.
Chinese philosophy.
Yoga.
Chinese philosophy.
Chinese philosophy.
Okay, so Chinese philosophy is the right answer. Whosoever has said Chinese philosophy, let's have it for that. Okay, and our second speaker of the day, TM Sahana, is currently living in which city?
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
The city.
Bangalore.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Who was that?
Ashutosh.
Let's have it for Ashutosh. And speech title of our second speaker, TM Sahana, is
Finding rhythm within.
We are close, but not the right thing.
Awakening rhythm within.
Something.
Almost correct. That is awaken the rhythm within. Let's have it for everyone. And here goes the last question of the day. Evaluator Gaurav Babu holds a master degree in which field?
Yoga.
I guess people
Tool
are obsessed with
engineering.
yoga.
Tool engineering.
Tool engineering. Design engineering.
Yes.
Tool design.
Toastmaster Priya is correct. It is tool engineering. Let's have it for Toastmaster Priya again. So that was from my side, and I'm happy that everybody has listened closely and answered the questions correctly. And I guess people have found their interest in yoga as well. So back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurdeep. And you did a fantastic job listening. All of the questions that you asked made me think, and I introduced many people, and I still had a tough time remembering. So it shows that you have done and taken your job very seriously. Now I'm going to go and give as short as possible of my general evaluation because I've spoken a lot tonight. But I do want to double check very quickly. How much time do I have for my session?
We are over the limit, but I think you can take this. You can take some 5 to 5 minutes, I would say.
Okay, I'll try to do it then in 5 minutes. First, I want to start off by sharing how quick and professional that Sunil started off this meeting. It was time. Toastmaster Smruti said, we need to get started. I saw Toastmaster Sunil was on a call, and still he wrapped up his call, jumped right in and said, warm up. Okay, we're going to do something to exercise our brains. Short, sweet, to the point. It was effective, and he got us on our way into the meeting. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Sunil, for giving us something still to stimulate us while trying to put out fires, as we know SAAs normally do, and being able to help us get the meeting started and rolling. There's one small thing, Toastmaster Sunil, that I'm going to give to you to increase this. Because you started off actually by saying, with this idea of dynamism, you said Toastmaster Smruti is very dynamic as a speaker. And I think this idea of dynamism and being dynamic goes along with your club. Now, I noticed that you have a tendency to speak very slowly and give yourself a lot of pause. And I think that when it comes to evaluations, and even with prepared speeches, this is an asset. I think that when we're starting off the meeting, if we want to be dynamic, it's actually useful to increase the speed in order to increase the dynamism of that opener when we're starting off the meeting. So in this situation, I think if you regularly do the warm-up or you regularly do the SAA introduction, I would shorten the pauses, increase the speed a little bit. So it feels like when we're getting into things, we're going a bit more bam, 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 and we're getting the train rolling on the track, as opposed to relying on who would then be the person who's doing the opening or the Toastmaster of the day to start getting the energy up. So that's going to be my one piece of tip. The other thing is just a question. I would have loved if you had ended the warm-up by telling us what the point of the warm-up was. Even if it was just, this is going to stimulate, I think you started off by saying will stimulate our brains, but how does it do it? Giving us that little fact and saying, if you are ever bored or you ever find that you're losing attention, doing this will help to, I don't know, connect both sides of your brain. Whatever it does, give us that little fun fact that we can take with us, because it would encourage more people maybe to use the warm-up or to increase their quality of life. So just those two small things, increase the dynamism, decrease the pauses, and give us a little bit more of the fun facts when it comes to the warm-up. Next, I'm going to go and talk a little bit about Toastmaster Smruti because of the opening. We already said that we have this dynamism going on, and I think the interactions, the guest introduction in the beginning, I think it was impromptu, at least it wasn't in the agenda, but I loved it anyway. And I loved it because I think getting the guests involved at the beginning of the meeting is a fantastic idea. So I do think that was great. We did notice that one of our guests was a bit confused. He didn't join late. He just, I think, didn't understand that the guest introduction for that part was over. So my recommendation, Toastmaster Smruti, would be make sure that if we're wrapping up this section that's a bit more impromptu, or at least it's not in the agenda, just making it very clear, we've run out of time for this part of the guest introduction, but we will give guests opportunity at the end of the meeting. Because I think this would help to decrease the number of people who are asking, what's going on? I didn't get a chance to share. Next up, one final thing also would be, I noticed that you even yourself mentioned, you said, I did a lot of talking in the beginning, and you did. We love hearing you talk. You're a dynamic and engaging speaker. I also think part of this, when it comes to, for example, the special day, you said the Gabbys Day. These are things that I would actually see how you can delegate to other members. Maybe, I don't know if you were the one who was in charge of the Gabbys Day, but if there was a point person or a project lead for that session, give them 30 seconds to jump in and explain that a little bit more. It gives you a break, and it also lets the members start to see a little bit of the other people who are working, not so much behind the scenes, but who need more recognition. So start playing a little bit more around with how can you open up that meeting introduction to let other members jump in, even if it's just for 30 seconds or 20 seconds. Next up, our Toastmaster of the meeting, funny, engaging. I love the way that you encourage members to turn on members and guests to turn on their cameras in a way that's not pressured, and also makes, like, as soon as you finish it, 5 cameras turned on. It means it was effective. So I love that entirely. That is the biggest piece of feedback that I have for you. Just continue to be you and use that humor to engage the audience and bring them in. For our timer, I think that your introduction was clear and concise. The small piece that I would give here is consider, instead of telling every single person what time you will show the timing card, instead maybe just switch it to tell them what it means when they see it. So for example, when you see the green card, for our prepared speakers and also our evaluators, it means that you have 2 minutes left, or for any times that align. That way you don't have to go and give very specific instructions 3 different times, especially because some of the rules align. For our language evaluator, I think both of all, the timer and the language evaluator and the listener as well, you all are attention to details. And I love the actual showing of the details of what happened. It's one thing to hear how many filler words we used. It's another thing to see it in presentation form. For our language evaluator, my piece of feedback for you would just be to continue to remind us of the word of the day throughout, because I know that we didn't have table topic session today, but our evaluators did have some time where they have more flexibility to share it and could have used it, I think, a little bit more frequently if they were reminded of it. Last but not least, I'm going to give a little bit of feedback to our individual evaluators. And that is just going to be, there were some evaluators who I think did a fantastic job. For me, I think evaluators, evaluations hinge on us making sure that the speaker is hitting the objectives. And every piece of feedback that we give, at least in this individual evaluation session, should go to whether or not they hit that objective or not. And I noticed that Toastmaster Gaurav, Toastmaster Upasana, I think even Toastmaster Joane, all specifically mentioned these were the objectives and this is what they were going to hit. I think our other Toastmasters also did a fantastic job giving feedback. My reminder is make sure that you're explaining how this will help them to hit the objectives that they wanted to meet. Because there are sometimes when giving more feedback about body language, hand gestures, or vocal variety is useful, but that doesn't help them be better at doing this type of speech again. So first prioritize the feedback that actually helps them to hit the objectives, and then go in and give some more feedback about things that could overall make them a better speaker. If you don't have time in the IE, that's okay. You're members of the same club. So you can talk to them afterwards and give them more general feedback. That is my overall feedback for the entire meeting as far as everything else. I think the setup was fantastic. I was in early. Everyone helped me to practice names that I was not familiar with to make sure I didn't make a fool of myself and embarrass anyone else. People were interacting in the chat. Honestly, this is one of the... I came tonight because I wanted to see how other online clubs operate. And not only did you all not let me down, you exceeded my expectations. So the reputation of the Gabbys is not deceptive. It is very, very accurate, and I appreciate the time. Please, please, please invite me back again. I also invite you all to the BRICS. I heard that we'll be doing a joint meeting again, maybe in October. So if you don't come back before that, then we'll see you in October. Thank you all again for the time tonight. I'll give the stage now back to Toastmaster of the evening.
That was a good evaluation and a very crisp one and a lot informative. Please give a warm round of applause for our general evaluator, Toastmaster Akeel, for picking up this role. We are at the end of the meeting, and I would just like to end it with this one. I had a lot of fun hosting today's meeting. It was informative for me as well as a lot of fun. And I hope at the end of the day, we all could kind of understand how similar we are with the lies and the truths that we tell to ourselves. With this, I would like to give our stage back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Smruti. The stage is all yours. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul. Can you please hear it for our Toastmaster of the day / evening who executed the entire meeting seamlessly. Thank you so much, Rahul, once again. Now, quickly, while I interact with you, I would request our Zoom moderator, Toastmaster Sunil, please help me with launching the polls. And people, do not shy away in voting for your favorite one. Our role takers work day in and day out to execute a productive meeting for each one of us. So let's shower our love and appreciation with the votes for the respective category which you are going to see on your screen. By the time you vote, let me check with few of our guest members investing Toastmaster. How did they feel about the meeting? Let me start with Sushan. Sushan, quick 30-second. Your feedback about the meeting today. If you are still with us, would you like to speak now?
Just give me a minute. You can go ahead with somebody else. Next, I'll speak.
Okay, thank you so much. No problem. May I request Toastmaster Ashutosh, thank you for staying till the last leg. How was your experience attending another Gabbys meeting?
I liked it. I liked the overall structure and the speeches. A lot of good content, deep content also, and also like very simplified way. That the second speech was very simplified way of something very direct for everybody's needs. And I liked also like the double evaluation thing because I remember this we used to do earlier. For a meeting, for a speech we used to take feedback of all the members in an Excel sheet, and sometimes that would help the person. But if you give a targeted re-evaluation to someone else, that is like double the benefit in the same amount of time, and that really gives a good impact, I think. So I loved seeing that today. Yes, it was a good meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh, for joining. And I'm so sorry, something wrong with my pronunciation today. Okay, but thank you so much
I
once
can.
again for sharing your thoughts. Yes, Sushant, please
Yeah.
go ahead. Try to please keep it as crisp as possible. Over to you. You're on mute, Sushant.
So hello, hi everyone. So I think I can hear you all can hear me. So I think I need to do both my introduction and a kind of review of how the meeting went both together. Uh, so my name is Sushant Chetty. I'm a mechanical engineer by qualification, but by passion I'm into public speaking and I train people on confidence building and public speaking. And I have put all my details in the chat box. What mainly the reason I attended this meeting was because I felt something curious about that Gabby online Toastmaster, the name itself. So I had tried attending meeting a couple of times. I could not, but today I especially attended to attempt a table topic. But I was pretty much sad table topic did not exist at all, and so that's the only sad part I had. Rest of that, I had a foreign evaluator evaluating all the things. That was something very interesting, which I felt he was very deep into things, and also we had double evaluation, which also gives you a dual perspective of a single person speaking. And I could see people having different opinions even in that evaluation, which made evaluation much more interesting. So that is what I would like to say about my experience over here. And looking forward in future, if there is a table topic also existing in the meeting, that would happen, and I would love to participate and see how it goes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sushant, for joining this meeting and sharing your valuable inputs about the same. Well, to answer your question and also for rest who are curious about the meeting structure, we bring different blend of meeting structure at Gabby's meeting. Tuesday meeting, we have it is a purposeful decision by the executive committee to have a meeting structure which is dedicated to only speakers and evaluators. And Thursday meeting, we bring the blend of educational sessions and table topic marathon. So don't worry if you missed the opportunity this time in table topic, please do come on our Thursday meeting where you will get a chance to speak definitely. But thank you so much once again for joining. May I request Toastmaster Sunil to please parallelly paste the result if we have the same. And again, please do vote for the favorite role takers which you see on the screen. Now, let me just quickly check with the. Okay, let me see. And I really appreciate people who are sharing their feedback and the chat option as well. Thank you so much for reciprocating to what I said. Reciprocating in a mindful manner, keeping the chat and conversations healthy. Now, let me pick someone last here. May I request Toastmaster Harry Sethi? Sir, would you would like to share your thoughts about today's meeting? Toastmaster Harry, if you're still with us.
Yes, I'm there. Thank you very much. I think I attended your earlier meeting also, and I really enjoyed it. And it adds value, it adds information and knowledge. And I also get very motivated. The kind of standards that your club follows are the the level which all clubs should follow. And I think out of my experience, I can say that Gabbys turns out to be the best amongst all the clubs. And I really look forward to these meetings. So whenever I have the time, I do enjoy and join. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining our meeting once again and sharing your valuable insights. Well, I do have the results with me. Thank you once again for voting. At the Gabbies, we share the woos and wows of a meeting, that what we did well and where we need to improve more. But thanks to our general evaluator, he explained everything in detail, and thanks for making the presiding officer's life easy. So we need to work upon a couple of things, and definitely we will ponder on those lines. I have a list of the good things in our meeting. One thing is definitely not so good is the time part. We need to ensure that we close our meeting within 2 hours of time. We dedicatedly we spend our time in the evening or hours. I do understand we are joining for different time zone, so we will ensure that we end our meeting on time and respect the time of our guest and visiting Toastmasters as well. But the good part, Good part is the blend of information, knowledge, and wisdom which we brought in this particular meeting. Speakers bringing humor, speakers bringing informations, and someone came ranting about the data director role. What a good blend we had in today's particular meeting. And second part, the evaluations. I might be reiterating, but trust me when I say this, it is not only about bringing two evaluators, it's about challenging the second evaluator that you have to come, you have to speak, but you will not repeat what the first evaluator has already spoke. We saw initial hesitation in people taking up the second evaluator's role. But today, now at present, when we reach them and ask them the question, would you like to try? And the answer is a simple yes, why not? So, thank you so much to all our evaluators for bringing this. It is a challenging task, but thank you so much for supporting us in this bold initiative. And we are because you are here. Thank you so much to the visiting Toastmaster who take the role being a speaker or a general evaluator. Your thoughts, your inputs about the meeting helps us to grow leaps and bounds from where we are at present. We will work on the factors where we need to improve, but we will definitely try to scale up on the areas where we know we have our strongest grip. Now, I know I'm speaking a lot, so let me speak few more things here with respect to the voting part. The results are with me. Now, the favorite role taker of this particular meeting, we had good number of equal shares of vote, but with a marginal slight increase of voting part, the category was for our general evaluator and our TMOD. The maximum vote went to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Akil. Congratulations, Toastmaster Akil. You were the favorite role taker of the evening. I would request the Zoom moderator to please spotlight the respective winners. Second category was the favorite speaker. I never share it, but I really did vote for you. So thank you so much for delivering and bringing the humor part. It is none other than Toastmaster Priyanka Mehan. Congratulations, Toastmaster Priyanka. Third category was our favorite evaluator. Back to back 6 evaluations today. Everyone bringing their own depth, knowledge, and everything on the podium. The favorite one from your maximum vote category is Toastmaster Sravan Kumar. Congratulations. Then we had our last category, but the most important category of a Gabbys meeting is the auxiliary role taker. And with your maximum vote, the winner is Toastmaster Sri Lakshmi, our language evaluator. Now, congratulations once again to all our speakers, evaluators, role takers, and once again, thank you so much for making and executing another beautiful meeting of the Gabbys. Now, as I said, this is a different meeting arrangement. Thursday, we are meeting at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, where we're gonna bring a blend of education session, a table topic marathon, and a table topic evaluator as well. So please do come visit our club once again. We are going to meet using the same URL, the same link soon. Till that time, just please keep on learning and stay healthy. I hereby officially close the meeting of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. Take care.